Hello, and welcome to, I'm calling this Sitting with Arvin. So, there's a couple of reasons and thoughts behind this video that I want to post. And I want to start with a quick story before I get to it. So please bear with me. It'll be I think like 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Just a quick rundown to where I'm at right now, why I'm here, and yeah, that'll explain a little bit, and then we'll move into the real meat of the video, so to speak. So, um, choking. I had an issue for a long time in a lot of areas with my life called choking. And in case you're not familiar with that term, that is typically used in sports, that term, I believe. And it's when an athlete comes into a competition and they way underperform. So basically, they're expected to do so great, and then maybe they get in their head, or they have a bad day, or the pressure is there, and they kind of just they lose it. And that's a problem and an issue that I've had for a long time, and I really need to work on that. So without further ado, the quick story. I can remember it starting during my most particularly during high school with wrestling. So that's the story that I'm going to use, but this story is sort of it's a true story, but it's a metaphor for like a lot of areas in my life. So in wrestling, I started getting really into it. I started getting a lot of recognition for it, and so I used that as like an outlet for earning, I guess. At that time, it felt like earning maybe, well, although at that time I wasn't consciously aware of it, but it was I loved the sport, but for a lot of reasons, it was for like earning that recognition and feeling accepted when I did well. But um, I wrestled for 4 years, and my last 3 years, I started really progressing. Um, I took it like very seriously. I'd wake up every morning during the season to do my weight loss runs. Then I did conditioning classes, and when I wasn't during my non-blocked classes, I'd be at the gym. During every evening, I would shadow like wrestle in 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 the top floor just to like get into shape for how I wanted to perform. Anyways, when it came to really tough competitions, I just froze. And it was like, I mean, it hurt a lot. And for a certain level that I was in, when I was wrestling in a certain division, I guess, I was able to perform well just because I watched every athlete that was my competition. I'd rewatch the videos. I'd practice moves to beat that particular person, and I would look at what they weren't good at. So I was way overworking any of my competition. And I did well enough to where my senior year, I actually got invited to go wrestle at nationals. And I completely choked. And it was absolutely crushing for me. I didn't give myself any mercy either. Like I used that like I guess I internalized it as like self-hatred. Like how can you do this? You work so hard and then you're just gonna like blow up and or not blow up, you're just gonna like freeze and stand there. I sort of use that as a fuel to push myself harder. But no matter what, in so many of those high pressure situations I would choke. And as I moved on, I eventually gave up wrestling and tried other sports. But that same issue followed me everywhere I went. And it was not just in sports either. It was in relationships. Whenever people would get really close to me, I would become afraid. During any tests that I would take in school, the high pressure situation, I would overstudy and I would know everything. But then the test came, and I'm sure so many people can relate to this. The test's there, and you're just like, the nerves are there, and you just forget it. It's not a very nice thing to have happen to you, and I know that I'm not alone in that. Um, so yeah, that is for today the thing that I want to talk about. Um, Not choking. And so I don't want to get to the end of my life and think or look back and see that, like, wow, I really underperformed because I was scared. Um, I'm going to keep going into those situations that challenge me and that put pressure on me. But I can't keep having it where I become crushed. And so the goal of this video, excuse me, is twofold. It is one is to keep myself accountable. Um, I think that is very important. I'm going to be making weekly videos just to keep up with myself, but also each week I want to share what I have done that week to help myself overcome an obstacle, I guess you could say. And this not choking thing it's a big issue, and as in there's a lot of things that need to be addressed in order to be a top performer, and there's so many areas that this applies to. So any situation in life, it's applicable for the most part, but also it requires eating healthy, sleeping well, exercising, having a good network and community that you're a part of. Um, and yeah, I need to work on all of those things, and I don't want to wait any longer. And I keep feeling like I'm pushing it away, like I'll take care of that later, or I'll I need to have maybe more figured out before I can move on. But this making this video will help myself keep accountable. And the second thing is that, or the second goal of this video, I guess you could say, is to eventually, I want to be a performer. I want to be someone who makes it in life and in a really rich sort of way. And I don't mean that just financially, or just in like a sports type of sense. I mean that in everything. In like what does it mean to truly live life and experience the full spectrum of what it is to be human, I guess. And so as I go, I think and hope that these videos will eventually be helpful to others. So to summarize, let's see if I can summarize real quick. I don't want to choke. I don't want to feel too much pressure to where I underperform when I put myself in situations that are important to me. So I want to address that. And secondly, I want to be able to help others. Right now, I don't really feel like in so much of a place to be able to help others because I just need so much help myself. But I'm going to work through getting help, and each week, please stay posted. I'm going to share a way that I helped myself, whatever that might be. Maybe it's I learned a new recipe and helped myself nutritionalize myself. I don't know. Maybe it's I decide to talk to a therapist. Maybe it's easy routine to get in for exercise, or maybe it's just like a philosophy and an outlook that I don't know about developed, but stumbled upon. So I'm not sure what the time of this video is on now, but thank you for staying with me thus far, and hopefully these videos get better and better as I progress so that they can keep your attention and that also they're more applicable and attention grabbing to anybody who watches them. But yeah, so today is just the introduction, and I hope you guys enjoy it and follow and subscribe if you're interested. And we'll see where this goes. If you're out there on the other side having a hard time, I'm with you, and I hope you're gonna be doing better. Yeah, that's it. So, peace.